Hey everybody, Dave Weiss here for the Glue Bomb Show. Well, as you know, because I've mentioned it a couple times this year, I want to build some of these kits that have been sitting on the shelf for a while. And this is the year when I'm going to take on a couple bigger projects. And this is one of those projects. This is the Lindberg Fiat Dragster Cabriolet. Now, as you can see, this thing's kind of huge. It's 1/12 scale. This will be the biggest kit I've ever built, but I have one upstairs that's even bigger. But we're going to go after this one this year. Now, the one thing that I was frustrated by with this was they cast it in two colors, chrome and black. The entire frame and suspension is chrome. So I'm going to be scraping a lot of chrome off parts so the glue will hold. The other thing was because they cast the body and everything else in black, and yet, as you can see, this flame job is yellow to red. And the way you do that is you paint the front portion of the body yellow. And I had a thought, why not paint the whole body yellow? And just kind of make it yellow with the red flames. And I kind of liked that idea, but then I had another idea. Why don't I do something different? And so I give you the glue bomb. Yes, folks, I'm going to attempt to build a glue bomb show, the character, the glue tube thing that you see at the beginning of every show and at the end. I'm going to attempt to build him and tuck him right through that nice big hole in the roof. And that's the goal, okay? The first goal is to figure out how to make the decals and build the car. And then after that, I'll work out the sculpture of the character. That will take some time. So you will see the completion of this a long time before you see the character. And if things don't go well, you won't see the character, okay? But anyway, so what I did was I painted the whole body yellow, and then I just kind of ombreed it with this nice metallic green from Tamiya. And I think it came out pretty nicely. I'm pretty happy with it all in all. It's an old school drag car, so, you know, I don't know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to be fun. And then the other thing I did was I built this wired engine. Had a good time building this and wiring it, and with the exception of there was a plumbing set of hoses that were supposed to go from the carburetors to the engine. And I'll just be frank, when I was putting the wires on, I kept breaking them off, and eventually I broke some prongs off on the carburetors, and I decided, you know what, I really don't need it. And so I left them off. And you know what, I don't really like to do that, but it's my kit. Now I'm noticing that our scoop here just doesn't kind of want to stay quite level. And so, fortunately, it's still a little wet. The glue's still a little wet, so I can still straighten it. But anyway, this is the engine. It's fairly detailed. It's a nice engine. Went together pretty well. It's got a gap here that I'm not quite sure what that's all about right there. I'm sort of hoping that shifting linkage is going to go in there or something. But at this point, there's nothing in the instructions that show me what it is. If for some reason there's nothing that goes in there, I'm going to take some epoxy putty and fill that up. But for now, this is what we got. I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing finishes out. Now, it will be a while. I'm doing this kind of part by part, and I have some other kits that are going to have to move ahead of it in the queue. But I wanted to give you an update to let you know I am sticking with my promise to try to build some of these bigger kits this year. I already did my 1/16 Jungle Gym. Now I'm on the 1/12 scale Fiat. And after that, we'll probably do another funny car. But again, these are going to fit in between everything else. I've also got a 1/8 scale street rod from Lindberg that I started on, and then I got stuck on. And so that's kind of become a shelf queen. I want that to come off the shelf this year, too. That's a pretty cool kit. The front axle, the front wheels turn and everything. And I think this one will have that feature as well. One thing I did do, they gave rubber tubing for the wiring, and I decided to go with the black wire instead of the black tubing. And the reason for that was the black tubing didn't fit in the holes that were provided. And rather than trying to bore them out and break them, which is what would have happened, I went for something slightly smaller. It may not be to scale, but you know what? It's my model. And so I'm going to do it the way I see fit to do it. I'm pretty happy with the way it's turning out. And we'll see what happens. I'm kind of looking forward to trying to sculpt that character. I've wanted to do that for some time, but I'm looking for a couple parts that are going to be a little difficult to find. I wish I had a 3D printer, because then I know what I'd do. But anyway, that's what I have for you for today. Take care, God bless, and remember, model building's supposed to be fun.